Chicago has learned nothing these past 10 years. Yeah. He still owns you. And of course, as always,
the Bears still suck. 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 They really suck. Yes, the Bears still suck.
What is popping, y'all? It is your man, Clawboy Bells, and welcome to another lovely episode of Wisco Sports, where, as always, we get another Packers sweep over the Bears. Packers are now 10-3. Chicago is now 4-9. Packers, I think this win, I think they clinched playoffs with this win, if I'm correct. I'm not entirely positive, but regardless, if they do win next week, they clinch the division, regardless of anything. So that's obviously very important, and I'm obviously going to talk about that after I get to this week. So this was a game that, let's be real. Obviously some of my thoughts going into this game. You know, I woke up today and I was very nervous. I had these thoughts go in my head thinking, ugh. The 2015 Thanksgiving thoughts, you know, a Bears team that's been struggling, and bye weeks we don't do well. It's just, I was a little bit nervous going into this game. And yeah, this was very interesting to see what was honestly going to happen. And I don't know. I really don't know. But the offense, I mean, we kept this thing going. Yeah, so honestly, Packers weren't really out to a slow start. This was a wild second quarter, first off. Now, I'll just go over game stats quickly. Rodgers led the stats with 29-37 for the field, 341 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was sacked 3 times for 21 yards. He did have 1 carry for 0 yards, so that was another time when he was stopped, but really didn't mean much. A.J. Dillon led the game with 15 carries, 71 yards, and Aaron Jones had 5 carries for 35 yards and a touchdown, as well as 3 catches for 30 and the touchdown. Devontae Adams led the way receiving with 10 catches, 121 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Had an unbelievable game. Alan Lazard also 6 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Mercedes Lewis 4 for 51. DeGuara 3 for 44. And Marcos Valdes-Scantling 3 for 20. Rodgers did fumble the ball once, but it was recovered by Dillon. Defensively, Devondre Campbell, another outstanding game. Tackling-wise, he had 26 total tackles. 9 of them were solo. And then everyone else really did a lot productively for both sides. We saw 2 sacks on the day by Preston Smith, as well as a tackle for loss. He was the only one that really got to him and really sacked him, because Fields really was mobile, and that was something really huge. How about Rasul Douglas? Another interception returned for a touchdown. The last time a player went back-to-back games for the Packers was... oh my goodness, I am losing names right now. I don't know. I know Herb Adderley. Sorry, I could not think of his name. My dad would kill me if I completely forgot his name. That was honestly his favorite player growing up. But yeah, Herb Adderley. The last time someone went back-to-back pick sixes for the Packers was that. So what unbelievable. And then Shannon Sullivan also had the other interception for them. Aaron Rodgers, And Amari Rodgers, 2 punt returns for 26 yards. Mason Crosby only hit 1 field goal today with 6 out of 6 from extra points. And Corey Borquez had 4 punts for 171 yards. 1 was in the 20. On the Bears side, Justin Fields went 18 out of 33, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Justin Fields also had 9 carries for 74 yards. David Montgomery on the ground had 10 carries for 42 yards, as well as 6 catches for 39. On the receiving end, Demir Bird, 2 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown. Jakeem Grant Sr. had the catch for 46 yards and a touchdown, even though considerably that was a pitch. And not such production from everyone else, though. Only Mooney had 1 catch for 19 yards. Allen Robinson, 2 for 14 as his first game back. Cole Kmet had 3 for 17. Jimmy Graham, 2 for 9. And then Damian Williams also had a catch, but, it wasn't really much. Eddie Jackson, Artie Burns, and Roquan Smith all led with 9 tackles. Teon Gibson with 8. And Khalil Herbert had 5 kick returns for a total of 128 yards. Jakeem Grant, 3 punt returns for 131 yards, as well as that 97-yard punt return touchdown. Cairo Santos had 3 out of 3 from the field goals, as he was 100%, and 3 out of 3 from extra points. And Pat O'Donnell, 4 punts for a total of 185 yards. So if you noticed what I just read, Chicago's special teams really dominated us. We could not do anything special teams-wise. Now, obviously, I'll get to that later, but let's talk about the game. So, anyways, game ball. Let's give this one to Aaron Rodgers. I'd say, Rasul Douglas did open this game up. I mean, the pick 6 was a big deal because we were trailing 10-0, and then we got a touchdown, and then we got the pick 6 to really open up this game. And that's what really put us in front and put us forward. I mean, even though Bears did really take the lead later, it wasn't really much but regardless, Aaron Rodgers, when you have performances like that and 141 quarterback rating, you got to give the MVP. But today, Rodgers deserved it. Davante Adams also did what he did. You can't really say it. Also, Preston Smith, 2 sacks. Alan Lazard had a great day. And then also Dennis Kelly. Now, a big injury. Now, of course, our offensive line is full of backups, which, is pretty insane given that, we're doing. But we just lost. Billy Turner went down with an apparent injury. He walked off himself, and he was very frustrated that he had to leave the game. But we forgot that we signed Dennis Kelly back at the beginning of the season, a guy that started all 16 games last year for the Titans, didn't allow a sack. I completely forgot we had him. How about him? He really stepped up when Turner went down. So I think obviously that's a huge deal that we got him. So I'm happy he's finally getting play time this year. I mean, he did not all year. So that's a great thing. Obviously, the best thing that we saw was creating the offense, especially with the running backs rolling. They were both really doing their thing, and really we had the targets for the big dog. Mercedes Lewis really getting involved was perfect because not having Tanyan, it sucks. But having Mercedes Lewis really come offensively is great. Now, yeah, he's a blocker, but obviously, thing is. Worst thing we saw, the special teams. That was awful. Awful. I don't think we've ever given up over more than 200 yards. Everyone's calling for him to be fired. I mean, we know Nagy's going to get fired at the end of the year, but seriously, the Packers need to fire somebody. Get rid of them. Why is the special teams suck so bad? I don't know what it is. I mean, seriously, the slow start and the special teams was just sloppy. We were just super sloppy. Now, if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers, we probably would have lost this game because special teams really did a lot. And obviously, Billy Turner getting injured was huge. We also weren't without Dominic Daphne, Equanimeous St. Brown, and Malik Taylor, but those didn't matter because we really just went down the field with our running game, and Davante Adams did everything he could with catches. We're 10-3, and the Bears still suck. That is obviously what really matters, and I'm happy for that as everything. Now, before I go, obviously, we have 4 more games left this season. We have, I believe, I'd say that's a 4-game lead. against Minnesota? I think that's where it's at. Yeah, I think we have a 4-game lead against Minnesota. 4 games left, which means because Minnesota has the tiebreaker right now, it doesn't really matter because we still have to play them again. So regardless, we win, we get the division. Pretty early in the season that's at that point, but that works for me. So next week, we play the Ravens in Baltimore. Now, if you didn't watch any NFL games, we saw that Lamar Jackson had to leave the game with an injury. This is going to be a very tough stretch for Baltimore. They're going to be really desperate for wins because their division right now is really battling for the whatever seed they are. And Baltimore, they lost a lot of guys in their secondary that are really good. So their defense is a little bit falling apart. Now, yeah, they always have had a good defense, but this is a huge deal. And finally, I don't know what else to really say. But if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, this is a huge advantage for Green Bay. Because if you sprain your ankle, you might be out for a week, might be out for 2 weeks. Who knows? But Tyler Huntley did whatever he could. Whenever he played, he showed up. And I think, the backers don't want to go into this on the road, especially not being prepared. Because this is probably, out of the final 4 games, this one probably is the toughest one. Because you're on the road against a team that's pretty good, let's per se. So that's that. Other than that, we win the division, and from there, it's obviously controlling who's going to be the first seed, at this point. Because we still have the tiebreaker against St. Louis Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals, Arizona. So if Arizona loses, that's that. And we have the tiebreaker of over Tampa Bay right now. So that's that. So obviously, I think as long as we keep winning and they hopefully lose some games, I don't see that happening because Tampa Bay, I think, is a very easy schedule later on. And hopefully maybe Arizona chokes some games because I just think they're very overrated, but who knows? I don't know. It'll be a great game tomorrow. But that's that. As you see, Rams and Cardinals is tomorrow. Great games. We saw Buffalo lose another heartbreaking loss to Tampa Bay. Tom Brady still owns Buffalo. That's pretty solid that we have figured that out by now. We saw the Lions, unfortunately, lose another game, but we also lost another legend. Demaryius Thomas was one of my favorite players. It's so sad to see him pass away. Obviously, I have to say something because that's very sad. Also, my prayers go out to everyone affected by the hurricanes in Kentucky going on. Weather is bad, and I think it's just a sad thing that we live in. And honestly, let's just hope for the best going forward because it's Christmas time coming up. So holidays are going well. I got exams this week, so wish me luck. And as always, go Pack Go. Anyways, if you like what you saw, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, share, do whatever. And of course, as always, a reminder to everybody watching, the Bears still suck. Go Pack Go. We'll see you next time.
Now, the Bears still suck. The Bears still suck. The Bears still suck. The Bears still suck. They really, 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 really suck. Yes, the Bears.